The 2023 high school football season is in the books.
Hey, let's go, 7 leaders, baby.
It came complete with some unforgettable comebacks, highlight reel touchdowns,
our guys are fantastic. I can't love them any more than I do.
and memories to last a lifetime.
Hey, let's go. They ain't your house, all right? We got to show them what being a Blue Devil means. Let's go.
Join us tonight as we look back on the year that was and honor the best of the best.
Physicality. We don't let up. We dominate to intimidate.
It's the 2023 Blitzies, and it starts right now.
This is Action Sports Jack's Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Whataburger, just like you like it.
It's not just a game. It is bigger than a game. And people don't get that. It's bigger than the game.
How fired up does that get you? It's bigger than a show. People do get that. High school football season is handling one of the favorite things to cover here at Action Sports Jacks. The only problem is it seems to go by too fast. All business. Brian Braddock, what a job the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets did in 2023. Welcome to the annual award show. It's the 2023 Blitzies, our yearly wrap-up and look back at the season that was. I'm Brent Martineau.
And I am Stuart Weber. Each Friday night, we've been hustling all over our local area to bring you the best of high school football. And the biggest thing I can say, how fun was that season? It was a lot of fun.
They always are.
They always are. It's a lot of fun. So let's get into the Blitzies, shall we? And let's discuss the season that was. Unfortunately, no state champions this year. That is the one thing that sticks out, although 3 teams did make it to Tallahassee to play for state titles.
3 public schools did, and no private schools, which is unusual.
It is different, definitely different. We had 6 teams make it all the way to the semifinals this year in Florida and Georgia. And by the way, this was the second and final year of the Metro and Suburban classes.
Here we go again.
They gave that a go.
I thought you wanted to start the show off on a positive.
This is a positive.
We're going to get out our soapbox?
Yeah, we're going back to the way they gave it a try. Let's just say that,
A try, a 2-year try.
Well, they gave it a shot.
Do you like going back to classes?
I think so. I think it makes sense.
There's always going to be winners and losers no matter what they do. Some people don't like it.
We go back to some of the good rivalries that we had. You know, you talk about like Mandarin being right here and Bartram Trail being right there, and they've been in different classes just because of different county lines. Yeah. So you get some of that back, and we'll see what happens.
But we ended up with really good state championship games across the board, and we'll wonder if we'll do that again, or can we get a lot of discrepancy.
Did they give up on it too soon is what you're saying?
Well, yeah,
Only
or just figure something out and then have the mental fortitude to stick with it because you made the right decision. True. Don't keep changing. Be consistent. Hey, one thing that stands out, this area is full of talent and teams that put everything into high school football. Here's the deal. High school football, the reason why we do this show right here to have an award show, the reason why we do Friday nights, the reason why we do hours of it with Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and other places, social media, is because it's a thing.
Yeah.
High school football is a thing. High school sports around here are a thing. But obviously, high school football Friday nights, you got big crowds all over the place. You have terrific players, terrific coaching. It's one of the best in the country. We know that. In the state of Florida, and Northeast Florida is no different.
Yeah, and my previous jobs were in Texas and Georgia / Alabama, 2 really big hotbed markets for high school football. And the thing that stood out to me is just the talent level that we have playing here locally. By the way, big shout out to all the folks that give Friday nights the buzz that they have. We're talking about students, parents, band members, etc., who pack the stands each and every week. This season, we saw amazing support and atmospheres thanks to everybody outside the lines.
I love those crowds. They really
just
do
awesome.
Make it fun. It's good to see everyone on Friday nights. Some terrific playoff runs this year. You mentioned it. Look at here are the brackets that you so finally make each and every playoff season. And well, in the Metro, and there's a Suburban over there, and even up in Georgia, we had a lot of success.
We had a good mix of teams that got pretty far, and this is the semifinal round. These are the teams that got to the Final Four, the region champions. And we, like you said, we had a good mix. You had the 3 public schools make it to the state championship games in Tallahassee, which, by the way, I thought Florida A&M was a terrific host for those state championship games. Properly sized stadium, nice atmosphere. The scoreboard was too loud. But other than that, everything.
More food for the media.
More food for the media. They ran out while I was editing. It's okay. We're not talking about that. We're talking about these great playoff runs. And
busy bee on the way home.
Yeah. It's hard to find a place to eat at midnight on the way home from Tallahassee. I will just say that. All right, let's talk about our team of the year, shall we? And we could have picked any of these teams that made these great runs. We went with the Bradford Tornadoes. They go 14-1, our only local team to reach 14 wins this season, and they make it to the state championship game for the first time in decades. Still in search of that first title since 1966, but what an awesome season for the boys from Stark. They get that great community support. I mean, everybody in Stark was in Tallahassee for that championship game, and it just means a little more to the folks there in Bradford County.
No truth to the rumor, we picked Bradford, so when we travel through Stark, we get maybe if we're a few miles over the speed limit, we're okay. That's not the reason.
We use the bypass.
Yeah,
now.
they're really
just go, don't worry about
they're
that.
really good. And by the way, Jamie Rogers done an unbelievable job.
Yep.
Also, he has been helped with a bunch of talent.
Yeah.
It's one of the most tremendous 2-year defensive runs that you can find in the state of Florida, and
Take a
especially
look at
that
the
we've
stats.
seen.
I mean, you talk about that defense, and they allowed 90 points this season. For the entire season, 90 points.
And I think in the last 2 games, a bunch of them came, like 20 against
21 in a
Cocoa
playoff
21.
game, and then 20 in the championship
So
game.
do the math on
that. So that's
that.
41 of the 90.
Incredible. There you see the sacks and the takeaways as well. They were very good on defense and really underrated on offense because the defense gets all the attention. Of course, Bradford made plenty of big plays along the way to their 14 wins.
Let's bring in Action Sports Jack's Marcel Robinson now, who combed through a whole season of highlights in order to give us his top 5 plays of the year.
When you have a crop of so many good teams in one area, naturally you're going to have more highlights than you have time for. This year was no different. We're going to show 5 of the best plays from the entire season. Let's run it. Number 5, Fleming Island against Bartram Trail. Sebastian Barton takes a snap and immediately runs left. Nope, don't like that. He's going to reverse field, make another cut up field. About 40 total yards for a 20-yard touchdown, but hey, whatever it takes. Right. Number 4, we are going to head to Georgia for the rivalry between Glenn Academy and Brunswick. Jaden Ellis keeps it himself and, oh no, disaster. Well, maybe not. He gets a fortuitous bounce and keeps rolling into the end zone. Hey, just the way you drew it up. Hey man, keep your helmet on. That's a flag. Number 3, Mandarins Tremel Jones and Jamie French have one of the best connections in the city. Jones throws into traffic and it's tipped, but French keeps his focus on the pigskin and hauls in the catch, and well, you know, he's off to the races. We'll see plenty more of that next year for sure. Number 2, how about a little defense? Didn't think I'd forget about them, did you? Choctaw paying St. Augustine a visit in the regional final at Brumley Field. Mateo Bernardi tips the ball in the air and comes down with it. Talk about maximum effort. How about another look? Boy brought his bunnies, didn't he? That's right. Turn up Jackets. They get a win in that game, too. And finally, number 1, we'll stay in the playoffs. Local matchup between Ponte Vedra and Creekside. How about a fake punt? Drew Price takes a direct snap and he throws a short pass to Landon Okla, and he rolls 53 yards to the crib. And you know what they say about special teams? They are special. Look, there were about 100 other plays that could have made this top 5, but they only gave me 2 minutes, folks. Good news is there will be another 100 plays next year, and we'll do it again, maybe with some of the same faces. In the studio, Marcel Robinson, Action Sports Jacks.
All our shows on YouTube, by the way, go to the Action Sports Jacks page and search Blitz, and you can see a lot of our high school coverage and everything else we do with Action Sports Jacks. Well, how good was the Game of the Week schedule in 2023? Here it is. This is how we do it now, a little bit different. In the last couple of years, we kind of map it out. Well, Stuart maps it out mostly at the start of the year, and Weber, pretty good job. Ended up with some good games.
Yeah, you know, we did what we could. We tried to get some good rivalry games in there. We tried to get some new blood in there, some teams that haven't been featured on our Game of the Week. And, you know, you could do the same games year after year.
Of course.
You could do Rains-Ribault every year. You could use Trinity-Riverside every year. Like, you have these great games, but we wanted to switch it up a little bit and get some new teams in there, give them a chance to shine, and they certainly did on Friday nights in our Game of the Week.
And I think you'll see all the areas of what we cover are represented here. And also, nice job predicting Ponte Vedra and Creekside would be such a big game in
absolutely.
Week 11. And we did see some great finishes on the Blitz scoreboard show as well, including that Ponte Vedra Creekside game. Now, they met back-to-back weeks, but the one at the end of the regular season, Creekside needed to get in the postseason. They did. They would have to go to Ponte Vedra the next week in the playoffs, and they would lose. Heck of a football game, though.
Yeah, and like you said, we saw it live on ESPN 690 Blitz Scoreboard Show, this unique show that gives you live score updates as well as video from the big games ending as they happened on ESPN 690. Love doing that this past year. And let's check out some of the great finishes that we had. You mentioned Creekside beating Ponte Vedra in the regular season finale, and this was a game they had to have in order to earn a postseason spot. And they would have a rematch the next week with the Sharks winning that one, but the regular season finale was just a tremendous, tremendous game.
Yeah, there's some big plays in that game, including a stop right near the goal line, and there were some controversial plays, which always happen in a close game. But Creekside has really been one of the most entertaining teams to watch over the last couple of years. Some fantastic finishes. How about another one? First Coast and Fletcher in overtime for the district championship. Marty Lee and First Coast would end up getting it done. That high-powered offense, they too came up with some big stops on the other side of the ball. Their defense got so much better as the year went along.
And the only time we ever show an extra point, the game winner.
Because it was a big one.
Yeah,
that's right.
in overtime.
Special teams plays a big role late in the year, and it did in that game. Look at that scene. What a performance. We showed it for you live, and what are the finishes of the season.
And you want to talk about scenes and overtime. How about a thriller up north of the border? And it was the city championship between Glen Academy and Brunswick. This one also went beyond the initial 48 minutes. And this was the big play to end it as the Glen defense stood up strong and got a sack on 4th down. You see the packed house. You see the red run on the field. They earned those bragging rights and won the city championship. One of many great finishes across our area.
That's a house divided, by the way. A lot of Florida, Georgia reminiscent, right, in that game.
Red and blue.
Look at the crowd. The crowd was terrific. Still to come on our Blitzies 2023, we honor some of the top coaches from this season. So many good ones. Who will be our coach of the year? That's up next.
This is Action Sports Jack's Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Whataburger, just like you like it.
Play as hard as you can play, do your job, and stay together. Okay, the rest will take care of itself.
This is where we start. You cannot make the tournament without taking care of the night.
Don't even hear any chit-chatting. Let your pads do the talking, run around, knock somebody down, help them up, and do it again.
Big moments, man. You got to go out and handle them. You got to be big enough for big moments. You got a big moment. We come out through this door tonight.
It must be violent tonight. Everybody got me?
Yes, sir.
Bring the hat.
Drain the tank and leave every last ounce of emotion on this field tonight. Joe got me?
Yes, sir.
Baby on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Let's go mean it.
You are a immensely talented team. If you don't get what you want, it's because you didn't rise to the ability that you have.
Are we guaranteed success? No, but what are we always guaranteed? Opportunity. We're always guaranteed an opportunity, and tonight's another one.
Have fun. We're in the graveyard of Mind Creek. Yes, sir. We're in zone 5.
Yes, sir.
Go show them why you're the damn Yulee Hornets. Let's go get after tonight, boys.
Let's go.
A lot of people think this is just football and coaching and what goes on the field. It's more than that. Those men right there are important role models in a lot of places and obviously inspirations to so many young men, trying to lead them right down the right path. Welcome back to our Blitzies 2023. So many good coaches in this area.
So many good coaches, and you just said it. I mean, it's the stuff off the field that's really making the difference in these young men's lives. And, you know, the record is obviously what we look at from a sports perspective and from a TV show perspective, who makes runs into the playoffs. But even in the down years, these coaches are doing important things for the community and for these high school student athletes.
And they should get paid like the Georgia guys get paid, maybe a little bit. Well, that's a different conversation for another day. But how about, well, the best coach in the area this year?
Let's take a look.
Our principal made the comment this is the first time he's ever had all these pep rallies and all these disruptions to school for athletics and not had one complaint from a faculty member. And it's not hard to figure out why, because we got awesome student athletes that are great young men who couldn't be behind them. So that's what I'll remember about this team.
And we go with Brian Braddock at the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets, his alma mater, and what a moment for him to lead that team back to the state championship game. They come up just short on the last play, a field goal by Mainland, but what a run by the Yellow Jackets this year.
It's pretty interesting, right? He graduated from St. Aug, I think, in '99. I think he was on that state championship team on the staff as an assistant in 2004, and he took over for Joey Wiles. We did making a program when they were making that transition. He knows what St. Aug is all about, and he brought them back to that mountaintop, a chance to get to the state championship game. And by the way, if he had stayed at Mandarin, which is where he came from, he might have been playing for a state championship as well with a lot of that talent.
Possibly a couple of them, by the way.
But you know, one thing about Brian Braddock. He developed a lot of this young talent, not just him, his entire staff. This is a staff award. They developed a lot of young talent.
And he makes the kids sing the alma mater after wins. I love that.
And he kept with burning of the shoes, which is one of our favorite traditions.
So many cool traditions. I love that. Hey, how about some news for you? And that's Adam Geis from the Sandalwood Saints. He is leaving the Sandalwood Saints after 2 decades leading the program. That's the first kind of big shoe to drop in the coaching carousel this year. And what's that?
There will be more.
Yeah, there will be more. There's always turnover in the coaching ranks, but Geis has been a fixture there at Sandalwood for 20-plus years now.
Well, speaking of longevity, Marty Lee at First Coast, how about a district championship for him, 27 years now. Verlin Dormany's over 325 wins. David Penland. Steve Brown's been at Paxson now. So, I mean, we've got guys who've been doing this for decades and decades, and it's important to them still to get that done and impact their football teams and the players on those teams. Coaches in our area have certainly had something going for them as of late, and that's a drastic improvement in quarterback play.
Yeah, our area jam-packed with talented signal callers that'll be playing on Saturdays soon enough. Let's bring in Action Sports Jack's Olivia Tasley. She has a look on where you'll see our area's top QBs next year in both the college and high school levels.
Our area is known for top-tier talent, especially at the quarterback position. Check out the wall that says it all. These are just a handful of QB1s who have shined bright this season. And some Division I schools thought so too, with big-time commitments up on the board. Let's start over here with First Coast Rodney Tisdale, committed to Western Kentucky. DJ Moore over at Bowles, heading to Coastal Carolina. Bishop's Kenny's James Rissar heading to the Hawkeyes. Colin Hurley heading to the Bayou to play for LSU. Riley Trujillo playing for the UCF Knights. And then you have my personal favorite, Marcellus Tate, heading to my alma mater over at the University of South Florida. Now notice I didn't name all of them. And here's why. That's because all those QBs will be heading to the next level next year. Meanwhile, these guys will return under the Friday night lights. Fleming Island's Sebastian Broughton, who has several offers on the table, not committed just yet. Mandarin's Tremel Jones, who's committed to the Seminoles. Sean Aschenfelder over at Creekside will have another year with the Knights before he heads to Rutgers to continue being a Knight. He's a two-sport guy, by the way, football and baseball. And Lachlan Hewlett down in St. Augustine will head to Wake Forest in 2025. But for now, prepare to hear these players' names once again next season on the Friday Night Blitz. In the studio, I'm Olivia Tasley, Action Sports Jacks.
So a few of those quarterbacks will appear on our All-Prep Top 25 team. We revealed the final group as well as our Player of the Year next.
This is Action Sports Jack's Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Whataburger, just like you like it.
Don't even take it 5 steps. Take it about 3 steps, cut out, and then go up. Out and up. 1, 2, 3.
So this is your reminder that our football coverage doesn't stop in the fall. We've got extensive flag football coverage coming for you again this spring with the Game of the Week schedule and everything that comes along with it. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, in conjunction with Jaguars Prep once again, they've really elevated flag football play in the area on the girls' side, and we look forward to partnering all spring with a couple of big events coming up, flag football this spring. Brent Martineau along with Stuart Weber, Blitzies 2023, and welcome to the hardest thing we do all year.
Yeah. It is so difficult with 70-plus teams that we cover to come up with 25 outstanding high school football players. It's our all-prep top 25 team. They're going to be honored at a Jaguars game. They are the best of the best in our area, and in no specific order, too. I mean, these guys, we tried to pick some from each position. We tried to pick from around the area. And, man, it was tough coming up with some of these decisions.
And it was. By the way, partly how we do this, we ask the coaches all in there to send us nominees as well, just to help us through some of that mud. And there are some obvious choices, but obviously it's a subjective thing that we do with our committee. And how about Maddox Spencer? Led the state in receiving yards, right?
Yeah.
Hard to argue with that.
Hard to argue with that. I mean, Lathan Biddle, same thing as a running back. Devontae Lyons scoring touchdowns left and right. Defensive side of the ball, I mean, Drake Stubbs, that's such a bright future ahead of him in the secondary at Mandarin.
Almost put the whole Mandarin and St. Augustine team up here.
You really could, because they've been so good at so many levels this year. We get the big guys in there. Jake Guarnera leading a group of 4 offensive linemen.
He's going to Michigan, by the way.
So some really, really talented players. Jamie French is an Alabama commit. And we saw his plays in the state championship game.
And up in Georgia, Camden County's had an unbelievable football program. This guy he rewrote the record books up there.
Jaden Daly leading the Wildcats all the way to the state semifinals. They were 1 win away from the state championship game. But we had to pick one out of these 25 to be our player of the year.
They do have Weiss in the backfield. We'll see what they do. Inside handoff. Weiss has got the first down and more. Weiss is free, and he's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown for the Mustangs.
All right, so we asked a lot of people around the area for some input because we didn't think there was like a slam dunk player of the year. Tiant Weiss might be one of the most underrated players in the area, and he was awesome, especially playoff time. But all year, their running game really set up their fantastic star-studded passing game.
And we saw it in Tallahassee, by the way, with their game plan. They were running that game plan through Tiant Weiss to try and compete for a state title. They knew that if they were going to be successful in that game, they had to get the running game going with that young man who ended up scoring, you just saw it, a great touchdown in Tallahassee. So what a season for him, what a season for Mandarin. But it's funny when you talk about a team that's got a Florida State commit at quarterback and an Alabama commit at wide receiver, we go with the running back.
And they have Penn State guys on defense and a highly recruited
Take a look at his stats. Take a look at the stats. The guy has 29 touchdowns, over 2,200 all-purpose yards. He was a workhorse, and they used him well. And what a season it was for Tiant Weiss.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Tiant Weiss, our Friday Night Blitz Player of the Year 2023. That's special company when you're coming from Jacksonville to be able to get that nod.
Absolutely. All right, well, as we've done all season long when it comes to the Friday Night Blitz, we always leave you with the band. We love the bands. The bands always have a great time out at these games and really bring the noise, bring the energy, and they once again did it in 2023. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey all season long. We'll do it again next year on the Friday Night Blitz. That was the Blitzies 2023.
Thanks for watching Action Sports Jax Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Whataburger, just like you like it.